Hey everyone, Shawn Clement here, Wisdom in Golf at our wonderful facility at the Royal Quebec Golf Club. It's our indoor winter academy, and it's nice to be indoors today. We're just digging out of some snow this week, but today apparently it's raining. I'm doing this video right after we saw Francesco Molinari have this awesome win with a 64 in the final round at Arnold Palmer. And then Tommy Fleetwood had a really good run apart from a crappy Saturday. But really, I wanted to have an opportunity to analyze his golf swing and show you all the good stuff that's happening in his swing. And I'm going to use a magnetic stem that we put on golf clubs to demonstrate what the lie does through impact. So if the lie is too upright, notice how that's pointing a lot more to the left. And if the lie is too flat, you notice how that's pointing more to the right. So there are so many other factors that do happen over the course of impact. And the guys at TXG are paving the way on that. If you look at Ian, he is like, 4 or 5 degrees toe down and still hitting draws. And I am, 4 or 5 degrees toe up and still hitting fades. So to each individual's swing tendencies, and obviously my anatomy is not the same as Ian's, so there are going to be some differences there. And I actually have one of my students who just got fit. He, took off and got a hotel room in Toronto. It's well worth it. He got fit for some gorgeous Mizuno clubs. And he is very much, 5 degrees toe down through impact. And he had his lies fixed and just didn't like the performance. And it just felt too weird with the turf interaction, because it changes turf interaction. And as we see through Wisdom in Golf, turf interaction is everything. And if you're already programmed for a certain kind of turf interaction and your brain says, well, this turf interaction gives me that ball flight, and then you change all that, then you really throw the thing for a loop. So most of the time you're better off staying with what you have, especially if you're getting terrific performances out of it. So back to Tommy. We're looking at, let's say, I'm moving in this direction. Let me do a little down the line swing analysis for you. So first and foremost, Tommy has a nice strongish grip, okay? It's on the strong side. And you'll notice that at the top of the backswing, so when we do the takeaway, he has this wonderful takeaway that matches the direction he wants the ball to go. And notice how the stem on the face of the club is pointing in the direction of my ball, pretty much. And then as the right arm folds and the wrists hinge, you'll see a change in the way the downswing happens. So you'll see a flattening of that club head on the way down. And that's basically simply the elbow. So if I'm throwing a ball in that direction and I want to skip a stone on water, I'm moving away in this fashion. And then when I'm getting ready to throw, notice the elbow is going to lead. So the kinetic chain, when it kicks in, the weight goes to the front leg uses the ground to get the body out of the way, and you're going to see this incredible clearing of the body with Tommy's swing, and obviously with other swings. And as he's clearing, you notice his head tilts back. The lower body is clearing, the head stays back because he's staying on his target, and as the elbow leads, it flattens the club naturally. So I think he would have been a really good shortstop player had he been an American player. And then you'll see how that slinging action comes in wonderfully in his golf swing. So now what happens, take away top of backswing, and because at the top of the backswing he's closed, you'll see the club face is almost pointing at the sky. That's pretty much Dustin Johnson's club face right there, and he's just a little shy of that. Now what this will do is allow him to really drive toward the target with authority. So as he's coming back down, he has that little flattening, and as he's coming through, notice the face of that club is really open. Then it starts to release. Less open, less open, less open. Look at this. Collect the ball, release the ball. See the stem now? So from there to there, look at how quickly that squares up. And then there's the release of that club. And now that club seems closed, but it's just rotating toward the target. And he's got that nice hold-off finish because he's really looking at spitting that ball in the direction of his target. So if we look at it from the front view now, and that's why this stem is so much fun, because you guys get to see dynamically what happens. So he's got this beautiful wide takeaway. See that? So he doesn't pick up the club, he doesn't yank it inside, doesn't go outside. I'm going in that direction, so the takeaway is moving in the direction of my target. So as he's taking the club back, and you can see the rotation of his femurs matches his anatomy. So he's staying beautifully centered in that backswing. So a 53-year-old body is going to look a little different than, you know, a young man's body like that. So mine is rotating a little bit more, so I don't want to hurt my back. And then at the top of the backswing, now you look at the beautiful width he has. Because he's got enough turn in the backswing, he's got some wonderful width. And now we're coming back. So you can see how that head starts to pull back this way, because we're going over there. We're not going over here. You go to the driving range, you're going to see a lot of people do that in the downswing. Why? Because they're trying to go at the ball. That's their target. Whereas if you're hitting the ball well, the target is over there. So there we go. Now I have access to the target. So if I'm going that way, there is no over the top. So notice now we're coming down, and then the club starts to release. So it starts to release. Notice the hands are well in front of the ball, because I am collecting. See how it's the club face on Tommy's swing? Open, less open, less open. Collect, release. And there's where you're seeing the maximum extension in his swing. Not there. We're not extending at the ball. If you extend at the ball, it'll close prematurely. Then you're going to have to open the face to go straight. Well, you don't want to do that. You want to keep that nice strong grip and that nice closed dynamic face, so we can collect the ball from here and release the ball over there. So notice how that stem is squaring up nicely, and then that extension pulls them into that finish. So to resume, takeaway matches picture, width because enough turn, initiate the chain of command, all right? We talked about that in Francesco Molinari's swing. We got the kinetic chain moving, and everything's moving through and out toward the target. So because I start with a little more tilt already, I don't have to tilt on the way down. He starts pretty square and then increases his tilt on the way through, collects and releases. And boy, that compression is fantastic. The British pounder. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of good stuff from Molinari and Tommy Fleetwood in the coming weeks. It's going to be exciting. All the best. See you next week.